Education in the past was mainly controlled by the clergy of the Catholic Church, but education has been having its evolution. We can go back way, 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 way back to the first families and mother and father, but most of all, mother taught her daughters how to perform basic duties of recollection of fruits in the outside. They would pass on this knowledge to their children. And also, the communication was in charge of the mother. And talking about the father role in the family in educating their children, most of all male directed in hunting, in how to plow and grow the earth, the fields, to how to organize things, how to provide for their house, so that when they grew up and they would become a husband or a wife, they could pass on the same knowledge to their children, so that they could ensure that this knowledge was not going to be lost. And after that, knowledge started to increase, and we can go to Asia or the Western society. We can talk about Greece and how these philosophers came up with some important ideas of how life worked, conceptions about life, conceptions about society, conceptions about education, conceptions about morality, conceptions about, you name it, a lot of sort of things regarding every subject, every important subject. So these concepts were important and were developed by these philosophers, and also some female philosophers as well. So their contributions led us to the point where in the Middle Ages, unfortunately, in Europe mostly, because the war back at the time was European-centered. This led us to understand that at a certain point, only wealthy families were able to provide formation and education for their children, so they could keep and protect, but also to assure the family name, and to avoid this to be lost. So they would send their children, their male children, to the school or to hire a tutor, so that they could teach them Latin, ancient Greek, how to read, how to debate, how to do certain things. Well, and female were not trained in the same way, but they did have a training from their mother's side. And this was how to knit, how to speak properly, how to cook, how to raise children, how to develop certain kind of things. And when we move on to Victorian era, this influence in European society from England marked an era of where moral was a high value, and also there was a double standard. So education during Industrial Revolution, for people, it started to become a reality, not only for the bourgeoisie or for the wealthy families, rich families, but also for common people. They were able to get public education. So the story of public education started from England, France, and Germany, who copied this idea. The classroom were crowded with over 90 students. Every 25 group of students had a monitor. So the concept of monitoring in classrooms comes from there, as well, as you might know. Well, language teaching has also suffered several changes, because the first approach was grammar translation. So the way languages were taught was implemented through a grammatical approach, a grammatical focus and aim, where students had to learn by heart grammar rules. They had to mechanize and learn by heart phrases, and they had to understand how the language worked. But they soon discovered that this approach needed to evolve. So after that, another method, the listening method, was developed by the military, and so on. The language teaching methods had an evolution. Nowadays, we got other kind of approaches, natural methods. We have a combination of Suggestionpedia. There is another one, I don't remember very well every one of them, but what I do know is that all these methods have evolved, and most teachers in the classrooms, they tend to use listenings, they tend to use grammar approach, they tend to use natural method, direct methods, to create a collective of strategies that allow students with didactic methods as well, and the creation of good material, attractive material, so that the students get it easier to not only learn but to acquire that, even though it's in a classroom. I believe that the type of school a person chooses might affect his or her future in the field, whatever that person is going to be developing, the knowledge acquired. So, therefore, we have renowned universities around the world, like Oxford or Stanford, Yale, Harvard, because the quality of what they teach and the quality of professors they have with a wide experience in years and the material and the methods they use, it's effective with the students, and the quantity of professionals they have helped to emerge has affected the world. So yes, I know that, and it's evident the type of school one's chooses, or well, sometimes you got no election, you got no choice. You got to handle with the cards and to play with the cards you were given in life. But yes, certainly there is something that might affect, might decide your future with the type of school you choose. If you want to become a language teacher, so if the school you choose is not centered or aiming to what you need, this is going to affect the outcome of your actions. I believe that in the near future, schools need to start thinking and rethinking, and I believe there are several scholars developing new strategies and new research has been thrown on the web and in the research communities. There is a conception of three teachers, TREE teachers. Those are teachers, researchers, educators. And I believe this is very interesting because researchers have provided with significant information stating that it will be necessary for teachers and educators to teach students how to deal, for example, with their emotions, teaching emotional intelligence, teaching how to debate, how to discuss your ideas. It's going to be determinant and absolutely relevant in this world. How to become more adaptable. Classrooms need to continue changing. And you see that is in Colombia, for example, we are stagnated with a lot of the infrastructure that students are given and professors and teachers are given to develop classes. So yes, I understand that in the future things tend to change more rapidly. And this is going to be a challenge for both teachers and students. And when they go to the real world with knowledge they have been given and they have acquired within the years in school, is going to also influence how the way they are going to think, but not also that, but the way they are going to interact with society as well.